our conflict resolution series. I am your host, Gabriel Onovo, a chartered mediator, a conflictologist, a peace consultant, and an emotional intelligence coach. So, this is our conflict resolution series, and today we'll be looking at something very, very critical and important. I title it Spectrums of Conflict Communication in Conflict. Spectrums of communication in conflict. Now, communication is a key component in conflict resolution. How you say what you say matters a lot in conflict resolution. So, in communication in conflict, we will be looking at some spectrums or some components, so to speak. So I will start with clarity versus misunderstanding. You see, in communication, you need to be clear. You need to be clear. People need to understand what you're saying. People don't need to assume you. There needs to be a clear-cut, precise language. That is to say, you don't use jargons, you don't use ambiguity. You want to speak to an audience, and it's a mixed audience, and you say, due to extenuating circumstances, I am constrained in my articulations. Brother, you've not said anything. You've just lost half the audience. You need to be clear. You don't use ambiguity. Use simple language. So you need to be clear so that people will understand you, not to misunderstand you. Then we have active listening over passive listening. Active listening. And like I often say, you need to listen when people speak. And when people are speaking to you, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. You need to be present. Like I often say, there's a difference between listening and hearing. You can hear people talk, but you're not listening. You need to listen. You need to pay attention. You need to be active. When people are saying something actively in listening, you can even rephrase what they are saying, or you can say, you meant to say. So you have clarity, so you don't misunderstand one another. Then we have verbal and non-verbal messages. You see, in communication, it's not just words. It's not just the verbal language. No, your body gesticulation, your body movement, your cues, how you nod, how you roll your eyes, all are parts of communication, and they can create conflict. Someone is talking to you and you're rolling your eyes. Someone is talking to you and you're like cringing your body, and you're just showing, not verbally, but you're speaking loudly. So you need to be careful about how you communicate, the tone of voice. Like I said, you can say to someone, okay, I'm sorry. Brother, you just said you're sorry verbally, but your body language does not show you're sorry. So your tone, your body language has communicated something different. And we have barriers to communications. What are the barriers to communication? You can have noise in an environment, so people are not really hearing you well. People can assume what you want to say. Assumption, like I often say, is deadly and is dangerous. You've already assumed what the person wants to say. Of course, emotionally, the person is uptight, so the person is really not listening. He's just not there, and your emotions are beclouding everything. You have prejudice. You want to assume people. You're already biased. You already have a mindset. You've already made up your mind even before the person is saying what he's saying. So we're saying for communication to be effective, for there not to be conflict in communication, these things need to be put in check. Then we have dialogue as a tool for conflict resolution, or dialogue as a tool in communication. Dialogue. Always give room for people to talk. Like I said the other day, we're talking about clarity, and we're talking about listening. Something happened just yesterday in the office. Someone busted in. He was angry with a friend, and he just came in and started talking. And when he was done, this other guy wanted to respond. He just kept interjecting. And I had to call his attention. I said, no, sir, you don't do things that way. You've said your own side of the story. Allow him to speak. Or you have other things to say it. And he started saying again. So when he was done, I said, are you through? Are you done? Okay, now please be patient. Allow this guy to say something. And that was how we were able to douse this tension, douse the situation, and we resolve the dispute. So I needed to make him to understand that in communication, it's a two-way thing. You allow people to speak. So that's our short clip for today. So, but let's reiterate what we've just said. We looked at clarity that against misunderstanding. We looked at active listening through passive listening. We looked at verbal and non-verbal messages. We looked at barriers to communication, and we looked at dialogue as a tool for communication. So people,